What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, CEO, MTS Nutrition, creator of the Outright Bar, and Chief Marketing Officer, TigerFitness.com. So we get this a lot because it's who I am, it's what I do. Children lifting. Should they be lifting? Will it stunt their growth? Is it bad for them? Is it good for them? I wrote a comprehensive article a while ago below. I'm gonna go ahead and link it if you're on YouTube. If you're on Instagram, just take my word for it here. But anyway, check it out. So, talk about kids lifting. And I get this a lot because my kids do some pretty epic shit. Just posted a video, we thought it was 295, it was actually 305. My 13-year-old daughter, who weighs about $125, got on deadlifts. My 67-pound son squatted 120 pounds at 11 years old. Now, you might ask yourself, what about gymnasts studying their growth? What about ephesial plates? All these different things. And I want to address those in a very adult way, not just argue about it, and also utilize some common sense. Now, as I cited in the article, there are plenty of studies demonstrating that lifting weights doesn't affect growth in children. In fact, I would argue it actually might assist them in having better development due to strengthening their connective tissues, strengthening their bones, their joints, and also teaching them proper movement patterns. We're in a society where we literally sit these kids in a desk for 8 hours a day at school. Then we get mad at them when they naturally, because it's evolution, we come from people who, if you didn't move, if you didn't hunt, if you didn't gather, you died. So we're taking kids, we're putting them in this classroom. We're not letting them move. We're not letting them talk. We're not letting them interact. And then we're prescribing them prescription medication for ADD or ADHD because we think they have attention deficit disorder. I don't think ADD is a made-up thing. I think it exists, but I think it's highly overdiagnosed. My kids have gotten in trouble for talking in school. My kids have gotten in trouble for, moving around. And it's because when they're at home, they don't stop. Remember, the brains develop. It's not like right when you turn 10, boom, your brains are developed. Your brains are still developing. In fact, when I was a kid, I remember they proposed moving the driving age to 18. And the main citation for the reason was that the brain's reasoning center isn't fully developed, or at least developed as much at 18. And also, you're looking at your mid-20s till you actually have that all formed. And that's why some are even proposing raising the voting age. So you have to realize you're dealing with different levels of development, right? So you take a kid like mine, who it's like, hey, get off your ass, turn off the goddamn iPad, and move. Get around. Exercise not only makes you fitter, healthier, also makes you smarter. It's been shown in countless studies to improve neuron function, to increase neurons. Exercise is the only thing we have in this world that makes your brain operate better the first time you do it. Within minutes of exercising, your brain operates better. Look at brain scans before and after walks. Before a walk, it's all gray. Afterwards, it's lit up like fireworks. Because exercise has such a profound effect from blood flow to you name it. Exercise is the most potent brain drug we have. So that's why, I had it out with one of Thomas's teachers because he was talking in class. And they wanted to give him attention. I'm like, okay, so you're taking a kid who has shown an inefficiency at sitting and being quiet. You're going to make him sit and be quiet more. Have the kid run a couple fucking laps. Have him go around the track. Have him do push-ups. I guarantee you, these kids got up and did some push-ups. If any of them can even do push-ups anymore with this lazy-ass society, have the kids do some push-ups, and they'll be good to go. They'll be good to go, man. They'll be focused. They'll be ready to rock. Their brain will be activated, and they'll quench that instinct to move. Way off base here. So kids are meant to move. Kids, they sit in this desk all day. Hips are locked up. By the time they're in their 20s, their 30s, they can't even do a half squat. They can't even balance. They can't even move correctly. We have kids even playing elite soccer who don't go out and play. All they do is practice soccer. When I took over the program at Campton United, 70% of our 06 girls, these are 13-year-old girls, couldn't skip. And if I tried skipping laterally, I had 6 out of 12 girls fall. I'm not talking stumble, I'm talking straight up fall, trying to move laterally. When I was a kid, we'd go outside and play hopscotch, play stickball, play flag football, play soccer. We played everything. Now, kids don't fucking move. So what we have is an apology society, right? We have reasons, we have excuses. So when you have someone like me who's encouraging movement and excellence in their kids, yet everybody gets a trophy crown. Oh, that's gonna stunt their growth when they have no data to back it up, other than what their doctor might have told them in 1984. Oh, it's gonna stunt their growth. Oh, you're gonna hurt the kids. Oh, are you worried about them getting injured? No, man. I want my kids to be midgets with really bad backs. Give me a fucking break, right? So, we take this plethora of information, we look at it from an objective standpoint. I don't wanna hurt my kids, I want my kids to be great. I also realize my kids, chance of them going professional at athletics, it's about as much as lightning striking through the first 3 stories of my house, hitting me in my basement, and then inadvertently hitting me right in the nose. That's about the chances my kids have of going pro. So I'm not gonna wreck their lives for some pipe dream of them being fucking legendary soccer players at a club soccer level, even a high school, or even a college level. Their money's gonna be made with their brains. Even if they make it to college, the chance of going pro from there, the funnel's real, bro. So, again, time will tell. I'm gonna give them all I can to help them get there if that's their goals. But if my kids came up to me tomorrow and said, Dad, I really don't like soccer. Cool, saves me a ton of cash on travel play. Saves me a ton of time traveling around the country for all these goddamn tournaments. And I don't deal with the politics. Let me tell you what, politics on a youth sports level is bullshit. This is a big tangent. I can't believe people get into coaching and parents get into helping. They have no interest. It's besides the point. I could do without all that shit. All right, if my kids said, hey Dad, I love history. If my kids, instead of saying, Dad, let's train, I'm tired sometimes. I have long days, I travel a lot. Man, I'm like, hey, sometimes I don't want to train. Hey Dad, can you go help us train? No problem, kids. I'd pay them $100 a session if they say, hey Dad, instead of training, can you teach us about history? Can you teach us about politics? I want to learn about the 1860s and when James K. Polk took over Mexican territory and gave us California and Texas for America. That'd be better for me. I'm a nerd. I love that shit. But my kids love it, so I'm there to support them. Huge monologue. Completely haven't addressed any of the questions. But that's what Cardio Confessions is about. So does weight training stunt growth? And the answer is, if done incorrectly, a lot of things can hurt a lot of people. You know, let's not make absolute statements. So you have gymnasts. Here's a profound fact. I cited a reference below in the article. Again, if you're on YouTube, click the article. If you're not, you're just gonna have to take my word for it. So on these reviews, these gymnasts, they had to be underweight, so they were malnourished. They were training, and I'm not talking about my kids. My kids weight train for maybe 20 minutes 2 times a week during the season. That's it, 20 minutes 2 times a week. These gymnasts are going for 4-6 hours a day, 7 days a week, eating well below their needs, well below their metabolic needs, well below what their body needs. So their growth is affected. So they have these girls drop out of gymnastics at 18 years old. They go growth spurts. These girls are growing 4, 6, 7 inches in height. Basically what that tells us is if your body means for you to be a specific height, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. Sooner or later, it's going to get there. You're not going to stunt your growth through weight training, but you will halt it. Now, if they would have kept doing that through their 20s and 30s, okay, there you go. I doubt there would have been a growth spurt because they're past that age. I don't see a 27-year-old hitting 4 to 6 inches in height growth. However, we've seen that even when you do everything you can to mess a child up, they'll usually find their growth. Now, then you look at just simple common sense, which isn't common sense to most because most people don't have the access or the wherewithal to look up this data. So every time you take a step running, when you run, that's 13 times your body weight on your joints. It's impactful and it's very harsh. If you've ever met a long-term extreme runner, they're a mess. You think powerlifter, like, I always make a joke, I've never seen a powerlifter, an elite powerlifter over 40-year-old, able to walk correctly. It's true. Look at Eddie Cohn, has 2 false hips. You know, all these guys are messed up. They have trouble getting out of bed. Then you look at NFL linemen, all that weight, all that running. I remember when I was at Exos, we were rehabbing some NFL linemen. Man, they couldn't walk. They were in their 40s, and they were like nursing home patients. They were that bad. When you run, you have 13 times your body weight. So let's take my son when he grows a little bit. 100 pounds. Every time he takes a step, that's 1,300 pounds of force and pressure on his joints. Put that in perspective. Okay? He just squatted 120 pounds. I'm not a rocket surgeon. I'm not a scientist. But I'm pretty certain numbers don't lie. 2 + 2 will always equal 4. 1,300 pounds repeatedly while running, which he does too, is actually much more than 120 pounds one time. How many steps in a mile? Hundreds? So he's having that impact, 1,300 pounds, hundreds of times on his joints. Whereas when he squats, now you talk about sports, soccer. Every time a kid goes in for a tackle in soccer, that's when you go for the ball, and another person competes for it. You're not only having that impact, but you're also having force. What about when my daughter collided with a girl on the field and a big hematoma on her head? Didn't get a concussion, thank God. What about the other day, my daughter bruised her toe really bad because a girl kicked it full swing when they both went for the ball. What about football? You got kids as young as 6 years old running into each other, their whole body, bam, like that. No one seems to talk about Pop Warner football stunting growth, even though there's much more pressure applied to the joints and the bodies of these young athletes. But everybody always points to weight training having a negative impact on height. And I don't know where this rumor came from or how it even makes sense, but this old wives' tale needs to die because kids are getting injured because of our ignorance. Weight training, let me give you a statistic. When I came to Campton United last year, we had 4 non-contact ACL injuries on the 00 girls, which was our national championship team. I had about 4 months with them, about 2 to 3 sessions a week. We loaded them, hex bar deadlifts, did a lot of mini hurls, a lot of mini bands, a lot of med balls, a lot of plyos. Loaded them. I had girls deadlifting 200 plus pounds. Guess how many ACL injuries we had this year non-contact? 0. Club-wide, we had over 10. Club-wide, non-contact ACL, 0. That's my personal experience. Weight training, loading, training change of direction, and teaching your body to resist knee valgus. Knee valgus is the concaving in of the knees. You'll see it when people don't know how to deadlift or squat, and my kids will still have it happen sometimes because they're young. It'll cave in. By utilizing mini bands and utilizing load, you're training your body to prevent valgus. Valgus will be your #1 cause of ACL tears. So what happens is you're going for a turn, knee caves in, pop, there goes your ACL. So what happens is by deadlifting and squatting, you're teaching your body under force to automatically react to external pressure, to push the kneecap out, to activate your abductors, to prevent knee valgus, which will prevent the knee injury. By loading, when you learn something new, it's your frontal cortex. When you're in the middle of running down the field, you're not thinking, your frontal cortex, you're in survival mode, right? And that's why we do drills. That's why you juggle the soccer ball. That's why you shoot on the goal 400 times. You don't just do it twice. Because the goal is take it from your frontal cortex, basal ganglia. Basal ganglia is where repetition takes place. So, for example, first time I learned to drive, it's all frontal cortex. Now I drive without even thinking because my basal ganglia takes over. It's basically automatic responses based on repetitious movement, done over and over and over. So by doing the repetitious movement, by training your body to do this, by doing mini hurdles over and over and over, by doing mini bands over and over and over, by doing change of direction over and over and over, by doing reaction drills over and over and over, the goal is to train the body to automatically react to avoid those injuries. So I would say weight training is not only not going to hurt a child if done correct. Now keep in mind, this is with a trained professional. I am a trained professional. I spent a lot of money and time in obtaining the education necessary to train children. So I'm not talking about, I've seen a lot of people at Export. I love Export to death, but they allow kids there to train as young as 14 years old. I've seen a lot of dads in there having their kids do nothing but arm curls, half squats, and half bench presses, and kid's gonna get hurt, you know? But they also don't temper volume. If you're a kid, you know, Cammie had 5 games this week. I got 40 minutes max. And I'm not taking her anywhere near failure. I'm just gonna get in, load, get out, done. 20 minutes max, hit the entire body, all the power movements. And I'm gonna do injury preventative stuff, mini bands, mini hurdles, things like that. Unilateral movements, balance things out. You know, single leg Romanian deadlifts, full chain lunges. But the bottom line is, the problem is that you have parents, and I love them, I think they're doing the right thing. They're skeptical about it because of all the misinformation out there. I'm here to tell you, look, I'm not here to hurt kids. None of us are here to hurt kids, especially, I'm not gonna say especially, every kid, not just my own. Last thing I'm gonna do is hurt anybody's kids. What I'm here to do is provide information to help people as well as their children reach their goals. And the way I do that is by disseminating positive information. Unfortunately, there's so much false information out there that in order to get through the positive information, you have to first debunk the false information. And that's the situation we're at right now. So what I highly recommend you do, read. Don't just read some article by some douchebag online. Go and read scholarly articles. Read my article. If you don't have a link down below, go to tigerfitness.com and put in kids exercising in the search function. Kids exercising Lobliner. Should pop right up on tigerfitness.com. Good article. I think I did a good job on it. It's quick, it's to the point. My kids will keep training and they're gonna keep feeling great. They're gonna keep excelling. And remember guys, one more thing for you strength coaches out there. The work's done on the field, right? Like you practice your skill. Weight training just enhances that through power, speed, and injury prevention. That's what this training does. Power, speed, injury prevention. That's our goal. Okay? Power, speed, injury prevention. Those are the goals with strength training and young athletes. So, training in the gym is simply to enhance their training on the field. It's not replacing it, and it's not making anybody, but what it's doing is taking what they learn on the field and amplifying it. It's like adding nitrous to your gas, to your car, right? You have a race car, you're going 120 miles an hour, you hit that button, you go better, you go faster, go more efficiently. Unfortunately, crashing kind of takes away the injury prevention, but let's say you cover the car in bubble wrap. That's essentially what we're doing here. Anyway, guys, I want to know your thoughts. Comment down below. Hopefully that's enough to help you. I had a discussion on Twitter today. My Twitter is @Marc Lobliner because I post my kids lifting there too. And, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, I just want to get positive information out there. Thanks for watching, guys. That's not a game. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Look who I ran into in LA.
It's good to meet you. I've been watching your videos a long time. Tell me about this protein bar.
So it's the Outright Bar, man. It's all natural ingredients, made with real food. None of that. You ever want to work out? You want just a little snack, a little bar before training, but you know the other bars might give you a gut bump.
Right.
This is something that doesn't have any prebiotic fiber, no glycerin, no sugar alcohols. It's whole, real food.
That is a tasty bar.
Really?
It's easy to eat. It's not too chewy. Normally I eat something like this with a big ass glass of milk. That's good.
So it's like a cookie.
Really good. No, it's not good.
If you want, we also have the. Want to try the almond butter one while we're here?
Love to.
All right. So
That's
this
a
is
badass bar.
This is made with almond butter, Steve.
That's a winner too.
Really?
He's badass. Good protein bars. Where can people find these?
Well, they can find it at any retail stores. You can find it at tigerfitness.com.
2 badass protein bars. So they get 2 double middle fingers up from Stone Cold Steve Austin, and that's the bottom line.